What's going on, everybody? It's your boy AlFudge87. Just had a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. It was news of Vince McMahon possibly bringing back the XFL, and news that he's possibly trademarked a couple new names like the UFL or something like that for United Football League. And it's been a lot of people shitting on it. A lot of people saying it's not going to work. A lot of people saying it's a bad idea. Talking about how much money he lost the first time. And I feel like if there was any time to start an alternative football league to the NFL, right now is the time. Um, for instance, with everything that's going on with Colin Kaepernick and racism and kneeling, and just this year as a whole, the NFL has taken a black eye. Um, all the injuries and the last few years with domestic violence and everything like that, and some of the owners even turning on Roger Goodell. It's a bad time for the NFL right now, and me honestly, I feel like the NFL doesn't capitalize on everything they should. I think it's a lot more opportunities for the NFL to be even bigger than they are. Um, they are still big. They are um, a very big uh, brand. But for the most part, I think they can be a lot bigger than what they are. They are up there with the Major League Baseball. But I have a few ways to as to why this can work, and here they go. The first thing I would do is, me being a football fan, I know I'm starved for football when the NFL season is over. Maybe that's a good plan and how the NFL works so well because it's you can't wait for the football season to come on, so they starve us for the whole spring or whatever, and we're starving for football. So if I was Mr. McMahon, I would start my football league in February. Um, Not actual games, but like preseason or a combine. That's something I'm going to talk about later. Um, that's something I would start. I would start getting the hype going for the football season in February and start the season in March, end of March. You know what I'm saying? Probably right after WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? You have some of the guys there, football players that's going to be in the league. You have them guys there, and you keep promoting the shit out of the league. But I think that can work. Um, Another thing I would do is I look at some of these states that don't have a sports team, and some of them that already lost teams. For instance, Oakland's leaving and they're going to Vegas, so they're going to be looking for a football team. San Diego's looking for a football team, so I would attack those markets. Um, it's like Utah, Connecticut, Arkansas, Alabama, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Oregon, and Mississippi. I would attack those markets as well because for the most part they're left out in the cold. They don't have a sports team as far as football. Um, Another thing I would do is attack states that have perennial losers in the NFL, like Detroit, Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's looking for a winner. So maybe they can say, hey, the Lions haven't won or the Browns haven't won, but maybe this team can win us a championship. You know what I'm saying? No, it won't be as big as the NFL, but at least you can hang your hat on something. You can have a good team that you can cheer for. You know what I'm saying? So I would attack those markets. Um, and the players. I know a lot of people say, well, who are you going to get? You know what I'm saying? And last time the XFL tried to start up, they had no notable stars. Nobody. Nobody to at least brand. Now, I'm not going to say that this could be bigger than the NFL. Not off bat, but I think it can compete in certain aspects. So if they take a look at some of the failures the NFL's had. Um, there's a lot of players on the free agent wire. I'm just going to go off of some of the offensive players. I'm going to start with quarterbacks. RG3's out there. He played in the NFL last year. Um, he's not a great quarterback as far as NFL standards, but he's a face. He's a name. He's someone that you know. So for the most part, you know what I'm saying, if he was on the Idaho Stampede or something like that, you would say, hey, RG3 is playing over there. You may tune in just to see what it's about. For instance, when the XFL's first game, this was one of the highest rated segments in pro sports. You know what I'm saying? Back when it debuted in 2001, it got very huge ratings. You know what I'm saying? Tim Tebow, I would contact him. You know what I'm saying? See if he's interested in playing. He's a free agent. He's somebody that the NFL is just not given an opportunity to. Colin Kaepernick. I would approach him as well. Work out a deal with him and see if he's interested in playing there. You know what I'm saying? And trying to start a brand. He can be the face of this league. Him, Tebow, RG3. Another guy right here, Johnny Manziel. This guy has a following. He's got fans from Texas A&M. Like these guys, for all the haters and detractors that these guys have, they do have a following. They have people that look after them. Then you got to look at guys that was popular in college football, but for some reason in the NFL, they didn't get a shot or a chance at anything. Trevor Knight used to play for Oklahoma. He's a free agent. Trayvon Boykin from BYU, from not BYU. What's the Texas TCU? He was a big name in college football. Brad Kaya from Miami. You know what I'm saying? Get some of these guys that had a name in college football, but in the NFL they say, oh, he's not an NFL quarterback, and they don't give him a chance. You know, and I think that can work. Then you got guys that has been given up on, or say, oh, he's old, he can't do it anymore. But in the NFL, he can't do it. But he probably can give you some. These guys can probably still give you some exciting football on a lower level, and that could excite some of these fans and can give you an alternate lead. Like I said before, Ryan Matthews, a running back, used to play for the Chargers and the Eagles recently. Tim Hightower, D'Angelo Williams, C.J. Spiller, Chris Johnson, Reggie Bush, Denard Robinson. These guys can give you some exciting football, some big plays, something that can get on Sports Center. They can give you a long run, or maybe break somebody down. You know what I'm saying? And that could work. These guys can give these guys an alternative and another shot. You know what I'm saying? To do something that they love, and can get some pretty good football games. This is something that the XFL didn't have. They didn't have this opportunity. So I think this would be a good move for them. Then you go to wide receivers, the divas. You got guys out there that hasn't retired yet, or just haven't got a shot, like Vincent Jackson, Victor Cruz, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens, Stevie Johnson. These guys are still fighting for the NFL lives. They're still trying to get into the NFL. They're still looking for that opportunity. I think that's these guys, give them a shot. Another way that I think it can help these guys get back into the NFL. If the NFL sees these guys making plays at this level or whatever, a lot of people say, oh, it's a C-level competition. Well, like I mentioned earlier, in February you can do a combine. Everything the NFL combine does, you can do it at the UFL combine, XFL combine. Let these guys run the 40. Let these guys show that they can still run a 4.4 or 4.5. Have them, do the hands judge machine. Let them guys, you give them a shot to showcase their talents, to prove to people, hey, the NFL is saying I can't play, but I'm showing you right here I can still play. One thing that I don't think the NFL capitalizes on that the NBA does so well, AllStar Weekend. The NFL don't have one. They have a Pro Bowl. It's at the end of the season. It's right before the Super Bowl. The NFL have some of the most polarizing athletes in sports. These guys with the celebrations, and you want to see, like when Cam was doing the dab, people wanted to see him dab. They wanted to see more personality. Odell Beckham Jr., his dancing. Everybody wants to see that. Showcase these guys. Maximize the talent that you have. Have an All-Star Weekend midway through the season. That gives you an extra bye week to keep guys fresh. You can use the Pro Bowl rule, so where they're not hitting each other and hurting each other. But that won't be the highlight of your weekend, just like the NBA All-Star Weekend. The highlight's not the game. It's Saturday, the Saturday before. You can have a fastest player competition. Why didn't the NFL do that? I don't know why. Have some of your marquee talents, some of the guys that they think is the fastest player in the NFL, have them run in a race. Have them guys race. And whoever wins gets I'm the fastest player in the league. Have a strongest player where they're lifting the weights. Some big fellas, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, linebackers, even some offensive linemen and some tight ends or wide receivers that feel like they're the strongest player in the league. Have them go rep for rep. Accurate thrower. NFL used this last year, but they didn't put it on TV. They put it on, I think it was on ESPN, but they didn't they didn't promote it. You know, they didn't have a lot of the marquee guys. I think they had Phillip Rivers, and I think Breeze was out there too. But have them have an accuracy competition. Use these guys. Use their popularity. Let's have fun. Let's see them have fun. Let's see them show their personality. Mic them up. You know what I'm saying? The farthest thrower. No, the deep throw. See who can throw the ball the longest. Let's have these competitions and get these guys up out of here and show their personality. You know, there's something fun for the fans. The best hands, hardest hitter. How can you do the hardest hitter? You can have the big guy. Whoever thinks they're the hardest hitter, put on a pad or something and have them hit like a dummy, like how they do for sports science. Put a little tracking device on them and see who hits the hardest. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Also to your AllStar Weekend, like your Saturday night or your Saturday AllStar event, you can have a red carpet. These guys like to use fashion and express their self in fashion. Have a red carpet, have who's the best dressed tonight, and give that award out right before the last one. You know what I'm saying? Showcase these guys. Show these guys having fun. I think with that formula, the NFL the XFL can catch the NFL. The NFL they don't do these things. So you can look at their flaws and you can attack that and use that. Another thing I would like to see is instead of playing outdoors, play indoors. Go to some of these arenas out here in those areas that I named earlier and play indoors. That expands the fun. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about packing out a stadium. You could pack out some of these indoor domes or something like that. Maybe you can condense the game, maybe not 100 yards or something like that. But use the NFL formula because the NFL kind of stole some ideas from the XFL camera angles and things like that. But I think if you use some of these angles, it can work. I'm not saying it's going to be better than the NFL now, you know what I'm saying? But if the NFL keeps trending in the way it's trending and they keep throwing talent away and not let those talents play, then the XFL can jump on that opportunity and add that talent to their league. And if they're giving more exciting football and more fun football, letting them celebrate, letting them do things like the throw, you know what I'm saying? Show emotion, The NFL has turned into the no fun league. Vince McMahon, you can capitalize on that, you know what I'm saying, and make your league fun. Um, just show more personality, have fun with it. And I think it can work. Um, this your boy Al Fudge. I'm gonna keep making more videos in the future, but this is me signing off, and this is how to make the XFL great again.